keeping, guys, and welcome back to the video. I said I would give you an update just on the whole story with the mini cut I'm doing at the moment, what it's about, and kind of how I approach these things as well to basically stay in that lean shape that I kind of want you around, so I'm not kind of pushing too high into body fat levels, and as well just to give myself like a psychological break from it all. So we'll dive into a whiteboard first. So the whole goal for me when I'm doing this is basically like when I get to a range where you're creeping up in that 15% body fat plus, it's time to kind of pull back for me, because I do want to keep in a shape where I'm never too far away from being lean, as we'll say, right? And as well, like I documented this time last year as well, and I think I went from similar body weights, probably a bit lower, but I went down below the sub 180 mark. And for here now, the goal is to kind of this year to hopefully be in the same shape at a higher body weight. So that's the ultimate goal going forward from there. It's adding size, pulling back in the easiest, let's say, fashion. So I've done about 3, I think, of these in the last year. I've only documented one a full year ago and this one now. And basically the whole kind of short and sweet of how it's done is that it's a 3 to 6 week block usually. And this time I'm doing it for 5 weeks. And the goal is to get from 195 down to 185. Like with the initial spike though, and like weight loss, water weight, glycogen weight, that kind of stuff, will be around 2 to 3 pounds. So I'm not going to take into account that as true fat loss. And then for here, my main goal then going on for the next 4 weeks, which is this week on because I have a week done already, is 175 pounds. And actually after the first week, I'm tipping just 191 on the scales already. So I'm actually going to bring the calories back up a bit. But just in terms of the training, like with the hurling training right now, we're not in the middle of the championship, but I'm going to try and sustain as much volume as I can to maintain muscle mass, but to make sure my recovery is on point for the gym sessions and mainly for the pitch sessions as well. So my food, my nutrition, my calorie intake, my macronutrient intake is going to be dictated by that, and also it's going to make sure that I'm hitting my target. So I'm not going to kind of throw up bland figures here and give you a range to aim for. This is a highly individual thing, like, and as long as I'm hitting my 175 pounds a week, I'm happy, whatever those calories and macronutrients are going to be. So the good thing about that is I'm actually eating a lot more food than I did this time last year as well, so it doesn't even feel that hard. But other than that, the nutrition hasn't changed that much. Veggies are way up, carbohydrate sources are down, obviously the reduction in calories, fat sources are way down as well, protein is being bumped up a small bit to keep me fuller for longer and make sure that I'm not risking losing any muscle as well. So here's where my focus is. This is just some steamed veggies in there. There's some baby corn below that'll be popped in the fridge and we can take it out for any meal. But like I'm just bumping up veggies, like I've loads more stuff, simple stuff like being smart with the calorie choices, getting 0 fat sources. Instead of using mayo, I'm using extra or lighter than light mayo, 9 calories per tablespoon. But the more and more of these like mini cut style things I do or fat loss phases I do, the easier it gets, because you have habits ingrained from before. You kind of know exactly where the focus needs to shift to. And what I'm actually doing is I'm always looking for ways to make my food more exciting. I'm always looking for like lower calorie sauces and that kind of stuff, so I can kind of add a bit more bulk and volume to my day, not feel like you're dieting that much, and just enjoy the whole food side of it as well. Because if anything, from a fat loss phase, people should aim to get a lot more creative with their food, and you'll just enjoy the process a bit more too. So there's nothing really rocket sciencey behind that, is there? Like, I know this stuff looks plain as hell, but that's just because it's just cooked. Don't worry, I don't eat stuff plain like that. I have a full press of spices and whatnot to spruce it up, and things like Frank's hot sauce, again 0 calorie. During these phases as well, I like to get some Walden's Farms low or 0 calorie syrups as well to pop into things like porridge and whatnot, which I'm going to do right now before a lower body session. And that's that. So I've come directly from a massing phase as well, and the beauty of it too is that it allows me to go straight into this mini cut, we'll say, without having to take a phase where you might maintain for a while to kind of we'll say stabilize your body at the gains you've made before you go into like a fat loss phase. But again, like anything, if you're thinking that a mini cut's going to be suitable for you and you're well up over the 20 to 30% body fat range, the reality is that you need to just stay in an extended fat loss phase for now to bring the body fat levels down and enjoy the process and enjoy your training going forward as well. Sometimes with mini cuts is because they're kind of severe and they're in, if it's like get the work done and get out, they can be a bit tough on people mentally with the dieting side of things. You might be a bit hungrier more than usual, etc, etc. But for me, it's to make sure that I can keep my recovery up for hurling. I have a 5 week goal for the end of July, and I'm going to hit that 1.5 pound mark a week and see what I'm like then around that 185 weight in body weight. So to round it off, if anything, it's more of a psychological break as well on top of it all. So it breaks up like massing phases nicely as well, because when I come off the back of this, I'm going to be over in America for 2 weeks. I'm going to be like in a maintenance phase there as well, depending on how much alcohol is consumed and ice cream. And going forward then from there, I'll be back in it again after that, which will go straight back into a massing phase, which is going to bring us back into hurling championship again. So it works out nice. So again, the whole idea of this is that like you're planning in advance. Like I had planned from the start of the year where these blocks were going to be roughly, because I knew then when we had a break at hurling, I can do them without worrying too much about a performance dip because we're not out in the field. And that's that really. Hopefully just give you an insight into how I approach these things as well, and what to do depending on what stages you're at. Stuff like if you are a GAA player, you play some sort of sport, or if you're someone that needs to stay in a more extended fat loss phase, at least it'll open your eyes up to that. So any questions, pop them underneath below and I'll try and get them for the future videos, and maybe the next check-in I do in this mini cut series will just be the final results and how it all went, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye bye.